In just 48 hours, over a dozen people have fallen seriously ill and 2 people have sadly lost their lives after a meningitis outbreak in the UK. Let me explain. This meningitis outbreak has shocked everybody and people are rightfully worried about this, but how did it actually happen? Well, a couple of days ago, the UK Health Security Agency confirmed a cluster of cases in Canterbury in Kent. There were 13 cases in total, 11 of those people were seriously ill in hospital, and as I said, 2 people have lost their lives. As far as I know, only one of these people that have lost their lives have actually been named, but one of the people was a 21-year-old uni student who went to the University of Kent, and the other person was just an 18-year-old girl apparently called Juliet, and Juliet was a 6th form student at Queen Elizabeth's Grammar School in Faversham. Juliet's head teacher, Amelia McIlroy, has released a statement about Juliet, basically describing the person she was. Amelia described her as a genuinely caring and attentive listener, and a true friend who listened with warmth, respect and sincere interest to her peers and to our staff, and in short, she was a lovely girl. My thoughts and prayers with both of these people's loved ones right now at this unimaginably difficult time. This outbreak seems to have happened just out of nowhere, but it has been traced back to a nightclub in Canterbury called Chemistry. Obviously, a ton of people go to nightclubs literally any day of the week, especially uni students, but it's believed that on the 5th, 6th and 7th of March, potentially thousands of people went to Chemistry nightclub, and so far 2 of the confirmed cases of meningitis have come from that nightclub, one of them being a staff member who actually works at the nightclub. The other confirmed case is a girl called Keely Goodwin. Her mum's recently come out in the news and basically said that she believes that Keely caught meningitis because she shared a vape with somebody, and now the people that went to Chemistry nightclub on those 3 dates have been asked to come forward for preventative antibiotic treatment. That way, hopefully, they can prevent it from spreading any further. Now, for those of you that don't know what meningitis actually is, it's basically an infection of the protective membranes surrounding the brain and the spinal fluid, and unfortunately, if it's left untreated, it can cause sepsis. You can lose limbs through amputation, and obviously, unfortunately, as we've seen, it can also cause death. Symptoms apparently include a high fever, stiff neck, sensitivity to light, confusion and rashes, and it's apparently spread by coughing, sneezing, kissing, or just sharing saliva, like sharing vapes and maybe drinks, that sort of thing. And obviously, with one of these cases being a staff member at the nightclub, obviously they're making drinks, so who knows how many people this could potentially have been spread to. In response to the outbreak, the UK Health Security Agency has apparently contacted around 30,000 people trying to trace and give advice to those people that might be affected by it, and the UK Health Secretary, Wes Streeton, has literally described this outbreak as unprecedented, which basically means we've never seen anything like this before.
This is an unprecedented outbreak. It is also a rapidly developing situation.
Which just sounds absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? Not worrying at all. Obviously, as I said, one of the people that have unfortunately passed away was a student at the Uni of Kent, so other students at that university have been given antibiotics to try and prevent the spread. You've probably seen in the news, these students have been queuing up in very large queues with face masks for these antibiotics, and it's also been reported in the news that people in the area of Kent, they've actually been panic buying jabs from places like pharmacists, which just shows how scared people actually are of this outbreak. Now, a lot of these cases are young people, and it turns out a lot of these young people, a lot of these students are actually unvaccinated for meningitis, and that's why most of the cases seem to be younger people rather than older people. Now, what makes this whole situation even worse is the fact that it's not even just spreading around Kent. There has been a case at another school in Kent called the Norton Knatchbull School. They confirmed that one of their students had caught meningitis, but it turns out it's also somehow spread to France, and there was also yesterday a case confirmed in London as well. Now, what's even more tragic about this whole situation is apparently in London there's a 9-month-old girl who's contracted meningitis. This is pretty common. Apparently a lot of babies do actually get meningitis, but this 9-month-old girl is called Nala Rose Fletcher. She's currently been treated in intensive care at Evelina London Children's Hospital. She's been treated for the exact same strain of meningitis that's been found in this outbreak. So far I can't find any update on how Nala's doing, but hopefully we do get some good news about her soon, and hopefully she's going to be okay. Now, obviously, one of the main worries for people, by the sounds of it, is they're worried about us going into another lockdown because of this outbreak, which really just shows how traumatized people still are from 2020, and I mean, I'm not surprised, but thankfully, there is no indication of any kind that we're going to be going into any sort of lockdown. Thankfully, meningitis isn't airborne like a lot of COVID strains were, and they should hopefully be able to stop the spread locally rather than make it a national problem, because I'm sure another lockdown is the last thing thing that people want. But as more information comes out about this, I'll keep everyone updated, so make sure you subscribe for all the latest news.